You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
Another story that I was really interested in a few days ago, and again, we haven't talked in a few days on the podcast, so I wanted to bring up some of these stories that may have been a few days old. It's all good. Dana White reveals why UFC called off done deal with HBO. We got to get out of this. Now remember, HBO and Showtime, I guess, was all in for boxing. But boxing lost steam, right? Maybe for the way it was portrayed, maybe because they put the fighter above the sport, a Mike Tyson, a George Foreman, an Evander Holyfield, a Lennox Lewis. It's the name, then boxing, then the sport. And when those names start to fade away, you have nothing left, right? And the UFC is being very careful to do this. And it also comes down to production, right? Dana White saying we did a deal, and he's telling this to Fox News in an interview. We did a deal with HBO. We were going to put fights on HBO. HBO came and started going, we're going to have to turn this music down. This is going to have to do this. And Dana White's like, no. You guys are not running our production and telling us what to do. And see, again, if Dana White's not around, when he's not around, everything is going to turn to money, and that's my big fear. So I think we're living in the glory days right now, and it will still get pumped up after he leaves because they'll go after the money. But if they start promoting these fighters solely over the sport, and for me as a fan, what that means is, do I just know the best fighter and I don't know who's down at 5th, 6th, or 7th? Because right now I do. If I just know who Adesanya is and Adesanya loses, and then Dricus du Plessis comes in, then he loses to somebody, and then that person loses, and next you know you're 3, 4 fighters down, you don't know who this person is, you have nothing left. But see, right now, because of Dana White, we are UFC fans. We're not just Mike Tyson fans or Evander Holyfield fans or Lennox. We are a fan of the sport. So regardless of who comes in and out, right now, the sport is promoted at the highest level, so we're watching. But you let HBO get in there and start messing up your production. Not that HBO doesn't know what they're doing, but you look at boxing. I mean, there's fights when you go from the second to last fight to the main event, that there's an hour and a half between the fight. It's like, dude, come on, man. Let's go. The UFC, the fight's over. You got a 5 to 10 minute intro, and boom, the fighters are coming out. And the music's loud and pumping. We love it, man. We love the way that it is. The UFC is perfect in terms of production. So you look back and say, hey, we could have never seen this level of production if HBO would have got involved. Luckily for us, the UFC says, hey, we do our production and we license it out. It would be like Spotify coming in and telling Joe Rogan that, hey, you can't interview this person or do the interview like this. You need to start doing them like this. Well, then you're going to change the show, or the sport in this case, and you're probably going to mess up something that people love, and it's going to cause them to stop tuning in as much. So it's a good thing that the UFC turned the corner there, but again, Dana White is like that rock solid wall that's holding everything together or holding everything back, however you want to look at it. And when he leaves, it's going to be a problem.
He's gon' fight, he's gon' fight, hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height, bringing that thunder with all his might, saying step up, wanna fight, hold up, think twice, gladiator assassin, reckless no abandon, walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass